Hello, everyone. Welcome to Esther Space, a platform for the people by the people. If today is your first time on Esther Space, you are quite welcome. My name is Esther Nsom, and I'm going to be your host. Today, with me in the studio will be one very talented young man, and he's bringing us good news. Good news about the times in which we live, the virtual times. Times when everything seems to be a hustle to so many of us. I see him as someone that carries real great news for many of you out there. If I were you, I'll sit down, relax, and wait for him. For now, I'll tell you his name, but I'm not going to say so much about him because I want him to say it to you by himself. So his name is Dr. Denis Kiawi, and he's bringing you news today from the database administration world. Let's see what he has more for you when he gets here. So sit back, relax, and wait for me to get him in. Thank you. Okay. Once again, you're welcome to Esther's platform, Dr. Kiawi. It is a pleasure for me to have you here today, and I thank you so much for honoring my invitation. Uh, um, Actually, when I was thinking about you, I had looked at the way that the world is going now, like everything
Mhm.
is virtual, people are struggling with technology. I am one of them, and I believe that you know people out there that are just going through the same thing that I've been going through. But luckily, I thought about you and I was like, he has to come here so he
Yeah.
can clarify some of the things that we are seeing today for the first time and putting people in the spotlight. Before we move on to anything, I'm going to give you the floor to introduce yourself. I'm sure the viewers will really want to know what is special behind you. Who are you? Tell the viewers.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Uh, I'm so happy to be here. I feel so honored to be here. Well, for you guys watching out there, my name is Dr. Denis Kiawi. I'm an educator. I empower people through education. And the field that I decide to empower people is in the field of IT, in database administration and cloud computing. That's really what I do. We actually have a whole community here in the US, and we are our main goal is to reach out to as many people as we can. I call this one as a movement. And this is a time you have to join the movement. You need to make sure that the train doesn't leave you behind because the world is changing and so many things are changing. A lot of is happening, especially in the field of data. It's being created every single time. So I think that there is a lot that we can gain if we get this exposure. And I'm just an evangelist to spread the word, make sure that you know what we do, and all everything is done here. And it's a whole community. I'm so happy with the people that we have trained so far, as you'll be hearing throughout the course of this brief discussion here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Doctor, for that opening remark. Actually, before we move on, I want you to throw some light
Mhm.
on what information technology is actually.
Yes.
Because me, I don't think I know precisely what it is. Let's see if we can,
Mhm.
get it right from the beginning. What
Yes.
is
So
information technology?
thank you so much. I mean, information technology, that's a very vast word. when you hear the word IT, everyone begins to wonder, what is this really all about? Can I really fit in? Is it for everybody? Is it just for the super intelligent guys out there? Um, Information technology, IT, is just a whole branch. And when you are out there and struggling to figure out what you're really going to do to make a difference, you need to see what met well with your own background and what you really like. You know,
Right.
uh, there are people that are managing databases like what we do here, cloud computing, network engineers, just Microsoft Excel that we work with it every time, Teams, anything that you see most of the time right now in our day-to-day activities, whether we're just dealing with opening emails left and right. Someone out there took time and designed that for you in the field of IT, right? That someone is designing that for you and you are a user. So most of the time, you need to really be able to figure out what area of IT fits your need and where you can easily fit in. And you can always, I always tell everybody, every one of us can do it. All you need is to be well educated and informed and find out where you fit in. That's something that every one of us can do. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So here, what we do here is we have decided to actually focus just on one area of IT, which is database administration and cloud computing. And what we actually do is that we train people, and we believe that if you get the says, teach me how to catch the fish and don't give me the fish. So what we think is that we are empowering people through education and helping them how to catch the fish by giving them the necessary skills that they need to be successful in this 21st century. And we all know that the world is changing. IT, it's one of the ways that companies or the world, the countries actually revolutionize their own economy. No economy moves out there, go forward with that information technology. And why I actually focus on this area is really because it's the foundation of everything. Every single thing in the IT industry has some kind of relationship with the data, the database. Whether
Right.
you are the one developing the app, whether you are actually using it, you always somehow need to tap into the database. So if you are getting into the field of the IT, why don't you start from the very basic ones, where the foundation, which is really the data, and of course we know data is a new oil. Right?
Right.
Something that we all need to know is a new oil. We have to accept that things are changing, data is being generated. Someone has to manage the data. And who is that person? It is a database administrator, as I'll be telling you soon.
Interesting. You see, all these things you're telling us today, some of them sound so new to me, and I'm
Mm-hmm,
sure some people out there are feeling just like me. Now I'm getting really interested in this.
mm-hmm,
Um, Now I understand that you are the founder and CEO of an IT academy in
mm-hmm.
Houston, Texas,
Yes,
which
that's
is
right.
something that really baffles me. I,
Mm-hmm,
I want you to start by telling us a little bit about that academy,
mm-hmm.
and then I'll move on to my next point. How did you get to creating a place like that?
Thank you so much. I call this the Kiawi Tech IT Academy. It's a community. It's a community where we stand for empowerment, we stand for excellence, we stand for integrity, and we stand for professionalism in everything we do. Those are our core values, and it's reflected in everything we do. We've trained and we've placed hundreds of people out there that are doing extremely well in the US economy. Now, we are extending our services all around the world, and this is really something that is really good for people who actually want to benefit from this. Now, located in Houston, Texas, the Kiawi Tech IT Academy. When I actually moved to this country, I kind of really begin to look around like, okay, what's the best way I can actually impact people? Because throughout, I always like to teach. The funny thing is that I'm a teacher today, but I always, back then, even though I was teaching, I always say I will never be a teacher. It looks like my destiny was following me, but I was living in denial. But
Right.
but back from the days in secondary school to high school to university days, whenever I learn something, I always feel like there's someone who does not understand it like I do. I need to bring that message, pass that message across. And so my background, actually, as you all know, I have a doctorate in nanoscience, doing molecular chemistry and astrochemistry. Chemistry. I did something completely, little bit different from what I'm actually doing today. So moving to the having worked in academy, being a tutor, an instructor at the university level, and teaching young minds, guiding them and helping them learn new things in science, came to a point where I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to have more impact on people's life, direct impact, where I could actually see the change happening immediately. Even though what I was doing was also having an impact, a long-term impact on people's life too, but I wanted something more direct impact. So I look around and I see IT just happened to be the one that's knocking at the door. So I started off by just picking up a couple of people, giving them scholarships and helping them to understand that I've learned something in me that I feel that you need to also know. I think that my first batch that I started with, I had just about 3 candidates, 3 trainees. We started off with them, and within the first few months, having graduated that batch, made sure that they were successful. I was able to move to the next batch and to the next batch and to the next batch. And now we run a batch of over 140 people. The current batch going right now is 140. Kiawi Tech is serve as a whole community is hitting almost 300 to 500 in numbers. And all those people have gone through this training. They have received this training. Some of them have gone through scholarship. Some of them through full. Some of them went through partial scholarship. Some of them had to pay a reduction, a discounted amount to be able to do that. So we are seeing that, especially the immigrant community, that a lot of us are not exposed to this field. Uh, Most of us that come here, the career that you normally go into will be based on the person who welcomed you into the country.
That's
And if
right.
that person was never exposed to certain other areas, that person will only introduce you to what they know. So, and this area, what I've realized is that most of us were not ever looking into it because we just felt that it was meant for the super intelligent people. This is something that I can't do. I'm not sure I can make that kind of money. It's not meant for me. I don't
Right.
even want to look at it without even giving a try. So I started this, and people have started seeing the results. That's why they're coming to Kiawi Tech, because we are a result-driven institution. We go for the best. We go for the best in everything that we do. That's why we are today where we are.
What a timely intervention in the lives of the people today. Look at the virtual world in which we live today. And I really want to say that what you are doing
Mhm.
goes far and wide to touch people that have never dreamt of accessing this kind of information before. And I'm happy that you choose to, to take this line of action. Now,
That's right.
my
That's right.
my my next point to you is, how is the admission to your
Mhm.
school done? Because I know that so
Yes.
many people are watching you and I,
Mhm.
especially from the third world countries, because
Yes.
those are countries that people who live there and come here to the
Mhm.
US, for example, some of them have
Yes.
never seen the computer before.
That's right.
Some of
That's
them
right.
have never typed something before.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
how do you reach out to those people in the third world countries, and what are the admission
Mhm.
requirements for people coming in from other countries?
Beautiful question. And before I even answer that question, I just want to let people understand that when you start doing something, consider the fact that you are holding destiny in your hand. You have people's destiny that is in your hand. And so, no matter how difficult the road might be, just know that there are so many people that are not as blessed as you are. And if you happen to have the opportunity to go through a training like this, know that you have people's destiny that are looking up to you. So stay focused and be committed. Now, going to our mission process. We made it very simple for everyone around the world. Now we understand that we are not only going to train people who already have very good knowledge in IT for them to be successful. We want to offer an opportunity for everyone because we feel that if everyone, if given the opportunity, can always succeed. So what we've done is we have several different kinds of classes that we run. We have mid-level classes and we have absolute beginners level class. So when you join the movement, what we do is we send you an assessment. A very simple assessment. It's not, there is no pass or fail on that assessment. We just want to know your background. What do you know? Where can we place you? And even before, some people come to us and they are not really so sure of what to really do. We have a lot of career counselors that sit down with them and try to explain different areas of IT that they can go into to become successful people out there. So we really focus on that. And we don't only advise you based on what we teach. We put everything out there that are the top careers in IT that are very popular. I will tell you, this is what you need to understand. There are
Right.
certain ones that you need a good background, some you don't need a good background. So these are what you have on your plate. So we give you that opportunity and we take people from all backgrounds, all walks of life, whether with IT knowledge or not. It is very simple. You go on our website at kiawitech.com, www.kiawitech.com. You can schedule an appointment with a career counselor if you need advice. You can apply for the courses that we offer, and once we receive your application, we send you an admission letter, and
Right.
then we place you on assessment. Based on that assessment, we will know exactly what class to place you in to make sure that you go through this program successful.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing. This is
Yeah.
so. Let me ask you, Dr. Kiawi. I know you mentioned that somebody does not actually need an IT background to get
Yes.
into the program, especially as you provide a
Mhm.
baseline assessment to know
Yes.
where somebody is, and then you can pick up from there. That is
Mhm.
interesting. Now, let me ask you, what platform
Mhm.
do your classes take, especially at this time that most of whatever is done is done online? Are you going virtual with your classes or you're going in person? How does it work?
Thank you very much. Uh, if there's anything that this pandemic has taught us, is that when you are going into any field, you should try your best to make sure that the jobs that are in that field are pandemic proof, and IT has just proven that it is. Most of us have basically moved from working in the office to working from home. Our life continues from there. So we have to adapt. The world is changing, and I'm very sure after the pandemic, things will never be the same. The notion of working where people feel that working from home is not very productive and people don't, and it has changed because statistics are actually shown that people work better from home. They're even more productive from home than when they go to the office. So we also have to adapt that in our own teaching method to make sure that we are able to accommodate everybody. So we go through a Zoom platform. So everything that we do is through on the virtual method. We go with Google Classrooms. So we go with Google Share Documents where every video is uploaded. We have YouTube channels where all the information is also uploaded for people to watch. So on Zoom, that's one we use mostly in class. All you need is access to internet, a laptop, and a quiet environment. That's all you need, and you're able to take these classes. And that's why we are all over the world. We are global. We don't have a fixed location where we sit in there to teach people. Now, we understand the challenges that people back home in other parts of Africa might face. And that's why we're extending a helping hand to other people to Cameroon. We're starting with Cameroon. Our goal is to go to other countries, but we start from Cameroon. And what we're
Right.
doing now is we're setting up a center that has super fast internet connection to that center in Buya starting September 2021. We'll have the center set up in Buya where people can literally go in there and take a class. The instructor might not necessarily be in there, We have instructors all over the world. You could have an instructor that log in and teach the class, but you have at least a location where you can log in that has good internet connection, has people that you can network with them, and you're able to learn this stuff. So if you are watching this from Cameroon and you're wondering whether you can take this based on the internet speed that you have, rest assured you are covered because we are coming for you. So this is how we do it.
Interesting. You know what I like about what you just said is, um, you take into consideration the fact that in those third world countries like Cameroon, for example, the internet is a nightmare.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that you are taking precautions, to take care of that.
Yes,
Now,
and
yeah, go
yeah, I
ahead.
was going to say we do a lot, especially for the third world countries.
Right.
If you like, we always talk a lot about empowerment. Empowerment. How do we empower people, right? So back in the third world country, everything that we offer here in the US, we slash the tuition fee by over 60%. So we drop that fee because we want to make sure that they are able to take this and go through this training with, even when they have that financial problem, because a lot of people look at the price and say, oh, I cannot afford this. Are you sure I can do this? But we try to make our best to make sure we accommodate everybody. And we don't only end there, we offer scholarships, right? To make sure that if you are really in a really tight financial situation, you are still able to apply for one of our scholarships through the Kiawi Foundation, and you'll be able to get a scholarship and do this whole thing. So this is some of the ways that we also empower people back home that are really willing to do this. Even those that don't have scholarship and they have to pay 40% or even less than 40% of the amount that the US classmate will pay, they have the option to even split it down into 8 months installment payment, meaning that literally you are able to take the program without being forced to pay the amount upfront. This is something that most people that really don't have it out there. Most training institutions don't have it out there. I always say this: back home, when I was still back home, people used to leave and go to India in order to do IT. Now, if you factor in everything, your flight ticket to India is already more than the price that you're going to pay for this training. Now, talk about the feeding in India, your rent, and so on, all before the tuition itself that you're going to pay. So you see that it's a real good way that we're trying to empower people by doing this and giving you the opportunity to take this program at the comfort of your home. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that clarification, Doctor. I'm wondering here. I know you have the internet problem taken care of by setting
Mhm.
up satellite campuses like the one you're about to set up in Boya. Are
Mhm.
you considering expanding to other parts of Africa? I know Cameroon definitely is your springboard because
Mhm.
that's where you come from,
That's
and
right.
there's a saying that charity begins at home. So
Oh.
I'm sure that's what is going through your mind. But I
Mhm.
just want you to let the public know what your next steps are. Are you planning to extend to other parts of Africa?
So everyone watching will believe that Africa is the future. That's the bottom line. It's a future, and we have to accept that. And we need it will only become the future if we, the Africans, take our destiny in our own hands and fight and work to make it the future. And that's what we're doing by starting up with a satellite center in Buya, and we're hoping to move to other African countries that are already embracing IT. We actually look into countries like Rwanda, Ghana, Nigeria that are already a little bit more advanced than Cameroon, and we're trying to see how we can partner with them to also help us have these trainees that are going through this program be able to get job in countries out of Cameroon. That's something that I want people to understand is that IT does not limit you to the country of origin. Now, I'm traveling to Cameroon and I'm going to be there for a couple of months, but I'm still going to be working. Why? Because it's IT has made it possible for me to go around the world. So long as I have my computer and I have access to the internet, I am still able to perform my work well. So we really hope that we're able to spread this gospel not only to Cameroon, but to all other parts of Africa. Yeah.
Uh, you touched on something that I want to go back to, and it is the partnership that you want to have with other parts of Africa.
Hmm.
Um, you see, sometimes people go to school, they take classes, and they don't have a follow up. But I like how you mentioned that if you have that partnership, what you're looking out for is how your students could also have a chance maybe to work in those parts, or you
Hmm.
know to get included in some of the programs as you
Hmm.
agree with those partners. To me,
Yes.
that follow up is very, very important, and I really
Hmm.
thank you for that, and,
Yes.
and for that consideration.
Yes.
Now, yes,
Yeah, let me just say a comment on that follow up, which
yeah,
is really one of the key aspect of our training, the
right,
follow up, because a lot of people out there do this training and they don't have a follow up. Our goal is not for you to get the material and leave. Our goal is that you're going to go through this training, get a job, and have your life impacted in one way or the other. That's our final goal for everyone that comes through our institution. So now, how do we make that possible? How do we ensure that that really works? By putting people in right position with the right people. Now, even still during the training, we make sure that you work in groups. We that you all the homework is done in groups so that you develop that networking attitude of being
right,
able to network with people and so on during the training. And then when you are done with your training, we place you under a mentor. Now, mentors are people that have gone through this similar training and they're willing to offer their services to help you succeed. So these mentors, they are well experienced people out there. They know what it takes to get a job and they know how to prepare you for a job interview. So they will help you. They are more like your IT godfather, right? That will help you, hold you, drag you, gradually help you to make sure that you succeed. Now, we are now planning to partner with these other companies to see, because a lot of companies out there in, especially in the western, in the third world country, have
right,
IT specialists that are experts. They'll get someone from India to come and do their job. They get it from the US or Europe or so on.
right,
But the exposure is not there. People don't really understand that you can actually have homegrown IT specialists that can do the same job and even maybe do it at a much smaller cost because they are not supposed to, they're already home. So
right.
we really hope that this will be the starting point where we're able to move these people and get them not only go through the training, but be able to actually have the jobs locally from this company that we have in the country.
And you know, the interesting thing is that when you look at the rate of joblessness out there, you
Mm-hmm.
can, I mean, you can see how your program aligns with the expectations of those people that are, looking for jobs like
Mm-hmm.
day and night. So I
Yes.
really like that aspect of following up whoever you train to make sure that they get to the final goal, which is
Mm-hmm.
for a comfortable, at least near comfortable living, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I thank you for that. And I'm curious to know when is the next program that you have coming up? When do you start admissions to the
Mm-hmm.
different levels of your program?
Thank you so much for that. And currently, right now, we had a class that has just started like 1 week ago. And that class, we are still admitting people. We will definitely stop admission by the end of this month of March. So by then, we will stop admission. But then we have other program sessions that are coming up. For example, 1st of May, we will have our Amazon Web Services, so-called AWS program that starts first week of March.
Right.
Then somewhere around July 1st, we have the current class right now, which is Microsoft Azure Cloud Computing. We're having another session that's starting first week of July. And in September, we have the Microsoft SQL Server class that is starting. That is the same class that I started 1 week ago. The next session will start again in September. So if you happen to miss this session right now, that's no problem. You can always reach out to us. We have a waiting list. We'll place you on our waiting list and we'll make sure that you're able to join the next session. one thing we take very, very serious during our training is to make sure that you only come to us when we see a potential in you to be able to succeed. If we really genuinely feel that you are not able to go through this program for whatever reason, work related, you don't have time, you are not ready, we always advise you to drop. It's not all about uh, trying to push everybody in. We want to make sure that you're comfortable, that you
Right.
have the time, and you have what it takes to go through this program, because we are very, very serious and we take this very serious. Where the classes are very intensive, and we want to make sure that people that come to us have the time and have the confidence to go through the program.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. And I just want to follow up with that to ask you what's the length of your program?
Mhm.
How much time is needed to complete a program?
Very good question. Um, our training, we ask everybody to come in here with at least 8 months of their time for our Microsoft SQL Server Database Administration program. Now, for the Azure program, it is 5 months. Then for AWS, it's also roughly 6 to 7 months training. Now, some people will say, why is it that long? I've seen the same course somewhere out there for 2 months, or for 3 months, or for 1 week, or 2 weeks. Well, we always tell people this. Our goal is not to pass on the information to you alone. Our
Right.
goal is that it's a whole career you're going into. Our program is a crash program, and our courses are well detailed and structured. If
Right.
you compare what we do here with a degree program, this is something that's covered in community college for 2 good years. And even in those 2 years, they don't cover what we covered in this 8 months. Now, how is this 8 months divided into? Just for you to understand why we need 8 months to make sure you live here as a successful IT professional. Now, the first few months, the first 1 or 2 months of the training is we assume that you don't know anything. Whether you know it or not, we just assume that you don't know. And we ask all our trainees to have that mindset that they don't know. And then we're going to start off with basic computer knowledge, an understanding of the computer world. What is it? What is a computer? How is it? Does it function? And all those very basic things that you need to be successful, to understand how a computer functions. So we get all that out of the way. Now we move to a module 2 of our training, which is really the foundation of the course that you're going into. Let me
Right.
take, for example, Microsoft SQL Server. So we'll give you the foundation of Microsoft SQL Server training. And it takes roughly 2 months to go through all that. Then after that, now that we know that you have the solid foundation, now how will you do the same things if you were placed in a job environment? So that when you get there, it's nothing strange for you. That's why we don't call them students, they are trainees, because this program here is a training program where
Right.
they will train them to be able to go through this successfully. So we put you on a training program, and what we do is that we simulate what you normally have at work, the kind of environment that you have at work, to make sure that you have the same environment on your laptop and you're able to simulate questions that happen exactly at your job, right?
Right.
So that's what we do. Now, on that last point, once we have done all that, we are very much confident that you've understood that you know exactly what it takes to be very successful. That we move into the next phase, which is then the projects. Now, what are these projects going to be all about? Now, we have hundreds and hundreds of projects that we've been working with. We've gathered it throughout our calls as employees in other companies, or as trainees that have gone through this and are working on similar projects and have shared their knowledge with us. We've gathered all these projects and we put it together under our project band. So once you have that environment, now you're going to make sure that we go project by project for all this training. That takes roughly 3 months to go through all those different projects. So you are very well positioned when it comes to that. And then it ends the training there after 6 months. But we don't leave you there. We now understand that you have what it takes to go through a training. You know what it takes to do projects at work. Now, how do you speak that knowledge out there to somebody? That's where the interview comes in. Now, on the interview training, it's the bread and butter of our training, because we only get the best into our interview training.
Right.
Every student that joined us has what is called a key performance matrix. We track your attendance. We track how you do the project. We track how you participate in class. We track when you logging in late, logging early before class ends. All that we put together under a matrix, and we give you a score. You need to score at least 50% of that, all that matrix, in order for you to be admitted into our interview training. It is a free will, a free gift to all our trainees. We don't pay. You don't pay for this. We do it for free, and we bring in top DBAs or top senior guys out there to come and mentor you. So that's when the mentorship becomes very important. So during that time, we for 2 good months, all we do is how to present yourself at a very highly level as a professional and be able to pass the interviews. And that's why our trainees are very successful. That's how our program is structured.
Thank you so much for that clarification. I'm going to follow up with something that I think it's really, really important.
Mhm.
Take, for example, students that are eager to come into your program, and these
Yes.
students are not anywhere around the US. They are in,
Okay.
say, Congo,
Mhm.
China, anywhere in South Africa, and so on and so
Yes.
forth. Now,
Mhm.
how do you get those students to access the school? Do they need some kind of visa to
Mhm.
to to get into to come over, or
Mhm.
now that it's virtual, they don't need any visas? They just have to
Mhm.
stay where they are. How do
Yes.
you have in place for that?
Yes, so we have a place for everybody, wherever you are around this world. The only condition that we need from you is that you have a laptop and you have access to internet, you have time and a quiet environment. Those are the conditions that we need from you. Now, once you have all these conditions, we will always have a place for you. Now, one thing that we've done over the years is we have different schedules. We don't have a single class. We have multiple schedules on for people in different time zones. Now we have an early morning schedule, we have a late afternoon schedule, and we have an evening schedule. So wherever you are, whatever time zone you find yourself in, there will be a schedule that can accommodate you. And so long as you have access to the internet, you are free to you're okay to take our classes, and we will make sure that you we pull through. And for those who are in Cameroon, you can literally walk into the center, sit down there, and have an instructor from the US teach you at a high level and things that you really need to know. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I'm still curious to know.
Mm-hmm.
I know that everything is virtual right now, but
Yes.
hoping that as we move on, things will normalize and people will get back to their normal way of doing things. Do you
Yes.
have access to, do you provide, say, for example, everything was fine. Would you have
Yes.
in school, in-person trainings, like someone could actually obtain a visa and come
Mhm.
over here?
So we don't have in-person training for a reason, because our trainees are all over the world, and we the only in-person training that we are willing to offer is in Africa, where internet connectivity might not be the
Oh,
best. But the moment Africa gets to a point where internet connectivity is no longer an issue, then always going to go virtual. And like I said, um, that's how the IT industry functions most of the time. And then even after this pandemic, things will eventually be that way. Now, we are growing. I'm not considering that aspect. We could get to a point where we need in classroom session. Why not? Why not have a university? Right? Why not have one? We are okay to dream big, right? Let's dream
that's
that
right.
along. Right? So it's something that we are open for all that. We are not we don't close those options.
Right.
And hopefully we grow to a point where we need all that, where we can literally get people to travel over here for admission and attend their classes here. But as far as our training is concerned right now, we have options for anyone else. Just reach out and find out. We will always accommodate you.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I think it is important for you, given the importance of this subject that you and I are handling today. I think it is vital for you to go back to those incentives that
Mm-hmm.
your program is offering to students from different parts of the world, because it is not everywhere that you find those incentives. I don't think
Yes.
many IT schools have the kind of incentives that you mentioned. I want you to go a little deeper in that
Mm-hmm.
section. What are some of the things that you do differently that
Mm-hmm.
can attract students
Yes.
into this
So yes. So I'm always taking in all direction, whether you are from wherever you're listening from, to make sure that you understand that we have you covered. Now, here we're starting with the schedule. Right, we have schedule that will match anybody at any different time zone. Right,
right?
so like people want to take this program, and if the only way they can take this program is to wake up at 2 a.m. to take the classes, very few people will do that, especially people that work and they come back they're tired, right? So we've taken care of that. Now, what about those who want to take this program and they have financial issues? We have scholarships through the Kiawi Foundation. We have also the discount which we offer for people in third world countries to help them with their tuition fee. Now we also have the installmental payment where you can break your payment into smaller payments throughout the training and still be able to do it.
Right.
Another thing that we've brought in also for the third world country is we provide laptops, right? We provide laptops for people who wants to take these classes from home and they don't have all the funds to buy the laptop upfront. So what we're doing is that we provide laptop for you at an installmental payment, which will be included on your fee. So, and you will pay it gradually throughout the process, right? And still be able to take this program. Now, even here in the US, here we still give the scholarship even down to people here in the US. For statistics, last year, 2020, Kiawi actually rolled out over $50,000 in scholarship for people living here in the United States through either full scholarship or partial scholarship. So we really make sure that we help everybody get through. And of course, we have extensive follow up and we have programs that are dedicated for people to get jobs. Our goal is getting jobs. We are not there for giving you certifications and having certification pile up and you have nothing to do with certification. Our goal is get a job. How do you get a job with what you have learned? And we have so many different platforms that we help people network. Like for example, we meet every Tuesday, and on this Tuesday, what we do is that we network with people that are already working out there. We share the jobs, we share our experience at work, and we share our experience during interviews, so to help those who are still taking interviews. And with this, you know that your knowledge is always going to be current. You're not going to be left out there. And we encourage a lot of people to look for other fields and look into. And we're constantly updating as the technology changes. We are always there to update people to make sure you understand that the fact that you have a job today does not necessarily mean that you will keep that job. So constantly making sure that you are updated, you are fully updated with the newest trend in science or in technology to be always competitive out there. So these are the things that we actually have on our plate, and so far the feedback that we're getting from people is very, very positive.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kiawi, for all those clarifications. And I can see so many people, not just the youth, not just the adults, like everybody getting involved in this program, because the way you've programmed it, it can accommodate everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the beauty of of your program.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to thank you for that. I want to just quickly ask this question that I like to ask uh, many people. Uh, I'm looking at how much you have been able to do, and I'm saying uh, these times have been very difficult times for everybody
That's
with
right.
the pandemic. But
Mm-hmm.
I think your response to the question may be a little bit different. So, did the pandemic affect your programs in any way, or
Thank you.
talk to me?
Um, I don't always like to say these because a pandemic, this is not something that you really wish that it happened, but the
Right.
pandemic has been a blessing to most people in the IT field. Let me tell you why. Uh, if this pandemic was not killing people, most people in the IT industry will want to wish that it continued. But now think about it, for example, prior to the pandemic hitting, the richest person on earth was barely maybe close to $100 billion before the pandemic hit. And there were very few people that were getting to that range. But now, 1 year and a half into the pandemic, check the latest billionaires. Now, the richest person on earth right now is $195 billion.
What?
Why? Because in every circumstance, there's always going to be a winner and a loser at the end of the day. And I think that the IT industry has really benefited a lot from this because it has exposed things that traditionally we never thought it could happen. But now we're seeing that it's possible. Whoever thought that we could train kids online? Whoever thought that your 2-year-old daughter could take classes online, or that your 5-year-old could take classes online, and so on? Whoever thought that we could spend years working from home? Now, this has just shown the society that it is possible, and businesses like Amazon are booming, right? Are booming because now people now don't realize that why am I even going to the shop, spend hours trying to shuffle, go through one dress after another to find the one that I want. Meanwhile, I could just sit back home and the comfort of my home, even at midnight when I'm tired, and I just click around and order whatever I need to order. So
Right.
this has really revolutionized a lot of people in this IT industry, and we see that it's possible to do very, very well. And even here at Kiawi Tech, we are feeling the difference. Our enrollment has really increased because a lot of people now have thought about the fact that yes, it's true. I should look for a job that I can work remote, right? I need to find a job that if something was to happen, I will still continue working because it offers the remote option, and that's why I like the good thing I like about this pandemic. Not that it's good to have the pandemic, that it has actually helped open our eyes to see beyond what we used to see. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for that a response. Because I was thinking about it. A lot of people, when I ask this question, apart from my guest that I had in the last episode,
Hmm.
you are the second person that has another view. But
Hmm.
everyone seems to see it as something that has come to just destroy everything, put everything on the negative side. But I'm happy
Hmm.
that some people are seeing the positive side of the times in which we live now
Hmm.
and which are real, right?
Yes.
So I
Yes.
really want to thank you for that response. And I want to bring in something that is kind of unrelated, but I think somehow it's
Hmm.
related.
Yes.
I also understand that you have a foundation called
That's
the
right.
Kiawi Foundation. I was
Yes.
looking through, I think Facebook or YouTube, and I
Okay.
saw you on the streets handing out food and clothing and a lot of other provisions to
Hmm.
people, to the needy on the streets. It struck me. And I just want to bring this here and
Hmm.
ask you, how do you balance that? How did you get there? And
Hmm.
how are you able to do what you do and still carry out your humanitarian work, which I see you doing very well?
Thank you. Uh, I want to really thank you for that question because this is something that we realize that in life you need to find a purpose. One of the reasons why we came up with the Kiawi Foundation is how do we give back to the community? In what way do we give back to the community? I My wife is actually running all this and doing an incredible job in this. So I'm so happy to have her to be able to support in this aspect and really help coordinate all these activities as far as the foundation is concerned. Now, on the foundation aspect, what we actually do is we want to see how we can reach out to the needy, right, to the underprivileged in our society through provision of whatever thing that they need. Like we have projects like educating the underprivileged. We feed the homeless, like what we recently did here in Houston, Texas. We have kids that we're sponsoring in school. We have from families that are really in serious financial issues, and we are helping them actually get back on their feet through provision of some financial assistance. So these are just some of the things that we do. And of course, here at Kiawi at Tech IT Academy, a lot has been done. Like all the money that we gave last year for the people, and
Right.
then all the students that went through our training, and then doing all that at the end, we want to make sure that uh, not only people here in the US get to benefit from this, or people all over the world. So we don't have any restriction who can benefit from our humanitarian gesture. Anyone that is in need, so long as we have the means to support, we'll be able to provide you that support so that you get what you really need. So that's one of the things that we do. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And this really takes me back to Dr. Onye Ekemefuna, who was
Okay.
here before you. And
Hmm.
there's just so much similarity in what
Yes.
you do with what
Hmm.
she does. I
Hmm.
remember asking her the same question about how she, how she handled the pandemic, and her response was so similar to yours. She
Hmm.
would knock at the doors of 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 the disadvantaged families
Hmm.
and will actually hand out the food items to them, sanitary items,
Hmm.
together with her husband
Wow.
and her team. That's
Hmm.
what did throughout this pandemic period, that everyone was down in many ways. I like that you
Yeah.
mentioning that, and that is the same thing she mentioned yesterday. And she highlighted her husband in so many ways, how
Hmm.
the husband stood by her and is still standing by her. I like how you mentioned that your wife has been championing a
Yes.
lot about this foundation. So
Hmm.
it's really balancing up. And I like how
Yes.
you align with what Dr. Anya was actually discussing here yesterday. Thank you so much for that.
Honestly, this pandemic has really struck a lot of family. People are really suffering,
Right.
and people desperately need help. And if there's any way that you can help in your own capacity, please help. There's so many ways that you can help. Through your own channel, or through different foundations that you support. But if you have a way you can support people, do support, because there are so many people out there that are not being privileged like we do. We still have our jobs. We still have a roof over our head. So many people, as a result of this pandemic, have lost loved ones, lost their jobs. They are homeless, and they're out there not because they wanted to, because of the circumstances that they found themselves in. And all we can do is stretch out a helping hand for them at really tight hard time, because it can happen to anybody. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you for those kind words. That is really touching.
Hmm.
Um, Now, before I let you summarize this episode 5 of Esther Space, I know that there are people watching us out there, and they would like to know how to get to you. I mean, how do they get to you? What are
Hmm.
some resources that you have in place for young people and
Hmm.
everyone out there? How do
Yes.
people get to you, and what resources do you have for them?
Thank you. We are easily reachable. You can reach us in a one. You can reach us via our website. It's www.kiawitech.com. It's actually spelled as my last name, KIAWITECH.com. That's on our website. We have everything that you need to know about the programs, frequently asked questions, when the program is coming up, how much it costs, and what methods you can actually take to use to take the program. We have all that listed on our website. Now, on our website too, you can find our phone numbers that you can call. You can reach out to me directly. You can reach out also to our admission office directly. We have all the numbers on the website that you can reach out to. And we always give you 24 hours response time. Within 24 hours, as you reach out to us, we will get back to you and make sure that you are informed. Also, on our website, you can go through a chat. That we have a chat icon on our website where you can chat with one of our representatives directly. If you're on our website and you have questions and you need someone to directly talk to, the moment you go on the chat, someone will be there to reach out to you. Now, we also have a YouTube channel, a Kiawi Tech IT Academy YouTube channel, where we go live sometime. We stream live and we upload videos when we have classes and we put them on there. You can also use that to learn, or you can also use that to reach out to us. And the last option is Instagram. We have an Instagram page also where you can also reach out to via the Instagram page. So these are all the different means that you can reach out to, or we are easily accessible at any time. If you feel like this information reaches you and you want to reach out, feel free to call. I can actually give the number. It's +1 for US code 346 404 4120. So that's the US phone number. It's available also on WhatsApp for those who like to call directly. So this are all the ways that you can reach us at any given time. And we also have our representatives also in Africa, particularly in Cameroon. Once this office set up, you can actually walk into the office, book an appointment, and talk to one of the career counselors. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Doctor. But before we round up, I'm sorry to do this, but I would like for you to clarify the scholarship program,
Mhm. Yes.
because I know that a lot of people are financially down, and
Yes.
so many people would definitely be interested in that
Yes.
scholarship program that you have. Can
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
elaborate a little more before we round up, please?
Yes. Yes. So the scholarship really, the only thing that we are actually looking at is we give the scholarship for people that are really in financial difficulties. So if you feel like you're watching this and you like to take our program and you like to use our scholarship, every single batch before we start, we have a allocated amount. We don't have unlimited amount for scholarship. We have a allocated amount that we set aside for scholarship. It's first come, first serve basis based on the issues that you have. So we will review your application and they will reach out to you if you have been awarded a full scholarship or a partial scholarship or your application has been rejected. So we'll always respond to you whenever you apply. So it's all on our website. You go on our website, you go under the scholarship section. There's an application section where you can click and apply for scholarship, and one of the representatives will reach out to you with a decision. So all we want is we want to genuinely help people who are in financial difficulties. We're not out to just give out money, but we really want people who really need this money to
Right.
really get it so that they can have. And it's so nice to see people that have gone through this, they have finished a program through a scholarship, and their lives have changed tremendously, and they come and give testimony. It's life changing. That's something you cannot trade with money. YouTube channel, you can see all the testimonies that we have on YouTube channel, and they will always tell you everything that we do here, and you'll be very much convinced that what I'm saying is exactly what we're doing here.
Amazing. I cannot thank you enough for this outflow of very vital information that our viewers definitely need out there. Thank you so much, Dr. Kiawi. It was a blessing having you on this platform, and I look forward to having you come back here, because I
Definitely.
assure you, so many people need your service, and I'm glad that you were here today to to start this discussion. It's just the
Mhm.
beginning, and I believe that is gonna go a long way, and you're gonna have to come back here for more of such rewarding conversation.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Such an amazing platform here. I would very much love to come back. Please, whenever you have, I know you are very busy, but whenever you have the slightest opportunity, let me know. And I would very much like to come back and talk. Maybe talk about something different, bring some people whose lives have changed. Let them actually be the one to talk and not me the one talking. That's
That's
things
right.
like that. So I would love to. I would love to come back.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And thank you so much, dear viewers. We didn't really have time to entertain you, because like what we were discussing was so entertaining. I didn't think that it was any reason for, branching off. But I want to thank you for patiently listening to Dr. Kiawi, a world of information that he has with him. And thank you for coming and joining Esther Space, a platform for the people, by the people. And I'll see you again next Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you and bye.